take a look at this new build that we did here. We spent a lot of time on this one. It's a real special design for a customer. The whole frame setup is our design. The customer gave us a 3D image of the inside and what he needed to have happen inside. We're not going to be looking at that. That's all proprietary information. I can give you a little peek at the controls, but I can't show you the front of it, but I can run you through the outside of it and some of the features we put on this thing to accommodate the customer's requirements. All right, let's go ahead and start from the front. For this design here, the customer wanted a split unit air conditioning. It's a 24K Mitsubishi system dual head. So we designed the neck to go ahead and hide the condenser fan unit, allow it enough room to breathe, still give it enough structural integrity. You load it down pretty good if the need be. Behind that, we put a storage compartment up on the sides. We'll look at that in a little bit. We got doors on both sides for easy access. We went with an equalizer systems, automatic leveling system, 12,000 pounds per leg. Pretty overkill for what we got going on, but again, there was no expense spared in this build. 200 amp transfer switch with a 50 amp shore power plug, RV plug, and then 200 amp cam lock. We did the spare tire up here. We did an air ride system, which we'll take a look at further back. And then we have our controls for connection, disconnecting, landing gear, independent controls side to side. Now you'll see on our frames, there's no traditional mainframe in it. We went ahead and used the walls. Our mainframe are the wall, kind of like a semi-trailer design. We call it the H-box setup. But we have a mainframe here that our axles ride on that's tied into a crossbar, and then the crossbar's box. So I refer to it as a H-box mainframe because the wheel box area is where the majority of failures are in cargo trailers. This box here is for some components that are inside. It can be used as like a storage box. That's why we wanted a little protection, so we added some frame rails. What we have here is we flex lined our hydraulic system that's located up in the storage area. From there we went to stainless steel hard lines. The stainless steel hard lines, we went all the way back to the rear back here that is part of the whole hydraulic leveling system. We ran our marker light. All our connections are soldered and taped. Every line is tied up. Our brake lines, same way. They all travel with the flow of everything that needs to be so that there's nothing, no lines pulling, no lines dangling. We tube clamps all our stainless steel lines, every stud. Our floor studs are 2x2 floor studs. Sometimes we'll web them with the extra framing that went inside for this box here. We didn't worry about it on this front section. On this side, you see our air lines coming down here. They come all the way down. We have matching stainless steel lines on this side, all the way down to our air control valve here, which is connected to our rear axle for the maximum ride height in the back, getting the best clearance that we can. This is the Dexter Airflex system. We went ahead and added some limiting chains so that when we do lift it up like this, it doesn't hyperextend the bag. These are 8,000 pound oil bath axles, electric drum brakes. Right here we have a drain line. This is for the rear head unit for the air conditioner. Customer, this is a step that goes to the side. The entry door is over here. So the customer wanted to get the water as far away from the step as we could. So we went ahead and ran a drain line across here and dumped it out down on the side over here. We added a full aluminum step here. This is our framing because the customer wanted it to have an electric actuator. So this is a waterproof electric actuator that's connected to 48 by 24 inch slide out step that has rubber bump stops up here. I'll go ahead and show you how that works in a little bit. Still have our 2x2 framing that we webbed together in the front. If this were a car hauler application or going to be carrying a heavy load, we'd run a couple other frame members, another 2x2s, pretty much where the cars ride. The whole main frame is out of 2x6 3/16 wall. Again, in the back, it's mirrored in the front. We did our crossbars here These are our rear walls, and then we added a 2x4 quarter wall here to catch the extra airbag for the airbag bracketry. A standard torsion axle would generally just go right to the mainframe, but being that we put these on air ride to give us an extra 3.5 inches of travel or more, we had to add in this extra mainframe member for this air ride bracketry right here. As you can see, in our welds, every weld that we do, we wrap the corners and leave a little bit of open space for drains to drain all the stuff out of it. Some people like the idea that you can seal it up completely. Personally, I believe that leave it open, let it breathe. If stuff gets in there, it'll get out eventually. Prolongs, in my mind, it prolongs the decay if you're in bad weather situations, such as the upper northeast of the country. And that pretty much wraps up our frame designs. Okay, so we have our main 12-volt battery right here. It's on a main breaker. Wizard Intel 80 amp battery charger. We have our junction box for our pigtail coming from the vehicle. All our electrical breakers, our main breakers are right here. This is our main 200 amp panel right here, 200 amp switchover box, and our pump for our hydraulic landing gear. Now this area can be used, I like to call it a little utility area. It could be multi-use. You could add some more storage up here. I just wanted to keep all this stuff out of the elements, and from inside the workspace of the unit, we added some LED lights in case something needs to be worked on. All our lines are home run, so if there's a line that comes from here with a SO cable, indoor outdoor SO cable, the lines coming from this panel have no electrical connections all the way to the outlets. Now some of our DC power, it does tap in for marker lights and things of that nature, but again, all our connections are soldered and taped, so there's no electrical connection failures. So this particular unit, because of the industry that it's used in, we went with a 040 aluminum because it's easy access to get to. It's all white underneath here. Customer requested that it be wrapped in matte black. So what we did is we just silicone and riveted the seams inside the field on the inside studs. We just double-sided tape. Forgive how dirty it is. It hasn't been detailed for delivery yet. Our corners, we try not to use a whole lot of trim. We use some base trim, some roof rail trim, but for the most part, try to bend the sheet metal. You can see we bent the sheet metal around the corner here. This is one nose piece that's bent around here. And the industry is gonna be working in, it's highly likely that it's going to get damaged, so we need to be able to, if it does get damaged, we have everything in stock that can be switched in and out pretty quickly. This is 040 white aluminum, so it's heavier than most. The downside to it is by being wrapped in the black. I mean, the other day it was 90 degrees outside, and when we shot the temperature on these, it was 160 something, and it starts buckling it a little bit. But as you can see in the shop or whatever, it's fine. We went with the 17.5 solid steel wheel. Again, for utility purposes, a 235 75R 17.5 tire. Real heavy ply tire. It's a pretty much a light truck tire. Again, we were at the oil bath, steel valve stems. We trimmed all the way around the bottom. We don't really use fenders, just don't like the way they look. Like everything streamlined, so we just kind of wrap the sheet metal, just put some trim over the sheet metal to hold the sheet metal in and get rid of the fenders. One less thing, it's a little cleaner look. The customer was looking for kind of a Mad Max, modern Mad Max look. You'll notice here, we did clear marker lights. Every 4 feet, all the way down, you see them here, there. The contrast between the clear marker light and the screw heads being silver, it kind of accented the lug nuts. We were pretty attention to detail on how this overalls look. This license plate holder is lit up. We went with clear LED taillights. The entire exterior of the trailer is LED. We have a backup camera. We have a floodlight back here that's also doubles as a reverse light. Out here we have a new one with a solid steer commercial door out of a commercial industrial building. HDMI hookup for an exterior TV, an outlet. We went 2 floodlights on this side because this is going to be the working side primarily, and then just mirrors everything else to the front. Go ahead and show you the step now. So during travel, it's kind of a little shaky if things get in the slide or things of that nature, but we have a 24-inch deep by 48-inch wide step. It'll go the full width of the opening. Our opening is only 36 inches. Customer wanted a little extra security so that you could actually have a full step. And when you go to get in it, that it's you can open it pretty much while you're on the step if you want to and enter the trailer. Now I'll show you some of the inside, but you can't see it all. Alright, so a few features on the inside of this unit that I can show you. We have one of the hen units, a 12K hen unit that we custom painted to match the interior. We have a Yamaha surround system. We went some hex lighting, some straight lights that are white down the side. Those are all 110 powered, which we're not plugged into right now. The DC powered puck lights is what we're running off of right now. Back here in our control center, we have our switch for our slide out step. We have our controls for an automatic, our equalizer systems, automatic leveling system, our puck lights, our hex lights, our 3 floodlights, and then our straight lights. Our outlets, there's 20 amps going to each outlet. It's 4 outlets, and the outlets are located all the way throughout the trailer. The entire interior is matte black. All our trim is matte black. Again, we just used a few accent screws. Other than that, everything's matte black. All right, so we were talking about the rear floodlight being connected to the reverse light. So as you can see, it's pretty dark out. Now you're going to back into a situation. This is what you come up with. I mean, we're pretty far away. This is probably right here. We're 20, 30 feet away from the trailer. Still see good. So it just gives you an idea of what we're trying to accomplish by doubling the floodlight as a backup light. Most of the backup lights in the industry now for trailer specific aren't really all that great, so we went ahead and just went with the floodlight and doubled it as a reverse light. Alright, so now what we do is you see what our backup light is. The customer also wanted significant side lights. One for the entry door, and as you can see, we're dark right here, right now. The woods are over here, they're dark. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the back light, turn on one side light, and then the other one, and you can see the difference. There's one side light, and there's another side light. So there's 2 floodlights now. I mean, that's easily 100 feet down there before you get to your first tree. So you can see me here. I'm lit up fine. I have good visibility all the way up to flush with the side of the trailer, straight down. So there's no reason for anybody to be crawling around underneath or to enter the trailer. This light was strategically placed here to make sure that the step is lit up very well, and the entrance area is also lit up very well for night operations. So we're really happy with just the placement and how these 3 floodlights turned out. this was another little project we knocked out real quick for a company that's building a new facility locally. They're shrouds for a buffer. We just got them back from the powder coater. The customer's pretty excited about that. Just to give you an idea what they are. That's what we're looking at right there when they're all together. So the customer provided the stands, and we went ahead and built these out real quick for them. So I was real excited about them.